Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Sarah and I hope you guys are all here for lesson 5. I wanted to send a quick shout out to everyone who's been submitting photos for the slideshows. It's again really great to see what you guys are seeing, how you're finding taking photos. The leading lines assignment was a little bit more challenging than some of the first 3 assignments, but it was a really great way for me to see how you guys are sort of expanding on the skills that you've been learning. So especially point of view, changing it up to sort of show those leading lines. It's really great for me to see how you're sort of putting all your skills together when you're taking your photos. So thank you. This week I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted us to sort of take a quick few minutes to review the topics that we've learned so far, and then I'm going to give you your assignment for this week, which I think you're going to find is a lot of fun, so stay tuned. Okay, so we started off learning about colors and how colors are what catch our eye. So we're drawn to colors. And it's a great way for us to express ourselves in the photos we take, whether we're taking photos of things that have our favorite color in them, or there's a certain color that really just draws our attention. Colors are a great thing to incorporate into our photos to make them more appealing to the viewers. Then we moved on to shapes, and we talked a little bit about how changing our point of view can change the look of different shapes. So shapes can occur in things that are sort of man-made, if you think of like windows that are rectangles, or buildings, you know, you can find triangles, or archways, or circles. And shapes can also occur in nature. So if you think of like the way leaves can maybe form a triangle, or if we look into the clouds, we can sometimes see shapes in the clouds, and they can be a little bit more abstract. And then after shapes, we moved on to textures. And we learned that textures are a way for us to engage the viewer's senses. So if we think of how something feels to our hands and when we touch it, so things that are maybe soft or prickly or fluffy, those are all examples of textures. So it's a way for us to engage the viewer's senses. And then last week we talked about leading lines. And again, as I mentioned, leading lines are a little bit more challenging to find because they're not as defined as, say, red or a shape like triangles. Leading lines are what we can use to guide the viewer's eye through the photo. Okay, so this week we're going to do something a little bit different. I've got 2 things that I'd like you guys to do that don't really involve taking photos. The first is to sort of think back on the last 4 weeks that we've been doing these assignments and think if there were any questions that came up or if maybe you faced some challenges with taking certain photos. What I'd like you guys to do is to write those down and send them in. What I'd like to do next week is take your questions and maybe some of the challenges and talk about them. Because most often, you're not the only one that has those questions or maybe is facing those challenges. So I want us all to be able to learn from each other. So submit some questions, submit some of the challenges that you faced, and then I'll talk through them and give you guys some tips on how to overcome those challenges and maybe answer some of those questions for you. The next thing that I'd like you guys to do is think about if there's something that you would like to learn in future lessons. So maybe there's a topic that I haven't covered so far that you're interested in. What I'd like you to do is to send in those topics about things that you would like to learn about so that I can start planning some future lessons. All right, so now we're going to move on to the assignment. Okay, so your assignment this week is actually a scavenger hunt. What I've done is I've created a scavenger hunt for you guys to go out and practice what we've learned so far using a scavenger hunt list of things to photograph. It's kind of like a photo game. So There will be things for you to try and find and take photos of that are related to shapes, that are related to textures, that are related to colors, and even leading lines. I've linked the scavenger hunt below so you can download it to use when you want to go out and do the scavenger hunt. You can play the game with someone in your family if you like, so maybe a parent or a sibling. You can challenge each other to try and find as many things as you can on the list, and see if you can find everything that is on the list and take a photo of it. Now, there's a couple of options of how you can do this. You can take the entire week to do the scavenger hunt if you want. There's a few things on there, so you may not be able to find everything right away. So if you want to take the whole week, you can. The other option is, if you really want to challenge yourself, is to try and do it all in one day. So take a look through, see how many you can find, and then once you've completed the scavenger hunt, you can submit as many photos as you like. So if you've got a lot of favorites, normally I only ask for 5, but this time, maybe you shoot 10 or 15 favorite photos, then you can send in as many of your favorites as you like. What we're gonna do is, or what I'm gonna do, is I'm going to put together a slideshow of the scavenger hunt photos. Now, the fun thing about this is that you guys are all using the same scavenger hunt list to try and find things to photograph. So it should be interesting to see what everybody finds for, say, example, a blue triangle. So pick as many photos as you like to send in, and then you can send them in the following Monday by 1 p.m. Central. So get those images in, and then I'll put together the slideshow for you. So remember, have fun, be as creative as you like, see what catches your eye, get out there, explore, change up your point of view, practice all the skills that we've learned so far, and yeah, that's it. So enjoy the scavenger hunt. Scavenger hunts are a really great way to get out and practice what we've already learned. So it's kind of a guideline of what to photograph, but you can be as creative as you like to try and find each of the items that are on there. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.